Kuki armed groups view ZUF action on anti-poppy farmers with caution. The sudden appearance of the Zeliangrong United Front in the remote hills of Kangpokpi district to destroy poppy fields has become one of the most discussed developments in the region. What at first appeared to be a straightforward anti-narcotics mission has evolved into a significant political and ethnic moment. Kuki armed groups, civil bodies and local leaders are all watching with great attention, not because they oppose the destruction of poppy cultivation, but because they are trying to understand what exactly lies behind ZUF's actions. In the sensitive and often distrustful landscape of Manipur's hills, even actions done with good intentions can carry deeper messages. For Kuki organizations, every step taken by ZUF is being interpreted through layers of history, geography, security concerns, and tribal boundary consciousness. To the outside observer, the destruction of illegal poppy farms may appear to be a moral act. It is true that poppy cultivation has contributed to addiction, deforestation, migration into forested slopes, and the involvement of outside elements in drug manufacturing. The Kuki community itself has suffered the consequences, with many leaders and churches repeatedly urging the end of poppy farming. But in a region where authority is constantly contested, the identity of the one who destroys the poppy often becomes as important as the destruction itself. This is the reason Kuki armed groups and political observers have taken a cautious and calculated view of ZUF's unexpected involvement. At the core of the caution lies the question of authority. Kangpokpi district is a Kuki majority district in terms of population, cultural landscape, and village administration. The presence of an armed organization associated with another tribe immediately carries symbolic power. Even if ZUF's stated mission is the destruction of poppy fields, the act of entering Kuki-inhabited or Kuki-claimed areas is sensitive. The Kukis interpret the operation not simply as a campaign against narcotics, but as a movement into their space by an external group. For communities that value autonomy and traditional authority, such actions must be carefully evaluated. There is also the matter of timing. ZUF's anti-poppy operation did not come after consultation with district authorities, Kuki civil society organizations, or Kuki armed groups. It was unilateral. In the political environment of the hills, unilateral actions are rarely viewed as innocent. Kuki armed groups understand very well that any underground organization stepping into another community's space usually has layered intentions. Whether these intentions are territorial, symbolic, political, or organizational, they take the matter seriously. The Kukis therefore do not see ZUF's operation as a simple anti-poppy mission, but as an event that may carry future consequences for intertribal relations. From the Kuki perspective, the key question is not whether ZUF is right to destroy poppy farms, but what message ZUF is attempting to send. Every armed group, whether Kuki, Naga, Zeliangrong, or otherwise, operates in a political environment where actions speak louder than announcements. The Kukis therefore analyze the deeper meaning of ZUF's presence. Was ZUF trying to demonstrate strength in an area outside its usual domain? Was it attempting to extend influence over lands that many Kukis consider their own? Or was it genuinely acting out of concern for the broader hill society? These questions guide every response and every observation that the Kuki armed groups make. At the same time, the Kukis are not dismissing the good that may come from such operations. Many Kuki civil leaders have acknowledged that the destruction of poppy fields is beneficial. They have long advocated the end of poppy cultivation. However, the method used to destroy poppy matters deeply. Kuki armed groups and leaders would prefer such operations to be carried out either by the state government, local civil society groups, or through community-based initiatives that respect village boundaries and ethnic sensitivities. When an external group enters abruptly, with its own aims and messaging, the Kuki organizations cannot simply welcome it without asking critical questions. One of the main sources of tension is the narrative presented by ZUF in its statements. Some of these statements frame the operation as part of protecting Zeliangrong land or upholding cultural ground. This is where Kuki concern deepens. Kangpokpi's hills, although shared by different communities, are politically and culturally rooted in Kuki administration. When ZUF links the anti-poppy drive to ethnic or territorial rhetoric, the Kukis interpret this as an attempt to symbolically assert presence or authority in Kuki-inhabited areas. Such implications may not be openly stated, but they are deeply felt in the political culture of the hills. Kuki armed groups are aware that land and ethnic identity are extremely sensitive issues. They understand that allowing another group to conduct operations, especially operations that involve judgment or punishment, can set dangerous precedents. If ZUF destroys poppy farms today, they ask themselves, what will it destroy tomorrow? If it claims cultural authority over certain areas in one instance, will it claim jurisdiction over other matters later? These are not exaggerated questions in the context of Manipur's hill politics. Every action is connected to a fear of future encroachment, symbolic dominance, or the shifting of territorial lines. Kuki organizations have also observed the psychological impact of ZUF's operation. Many small Kuki villages that lack strong administrative structures feel uneasy. The presence of an armed group they do not feel connected to can create fear, confusion, or a feeling of being powerless. Kuki armed groups see it as their duty to ensure that such villages do not feel threatened or overshadowed by outside forces. Therefore, they analyze ZUF's movements not only politically, but also through the lens of community security. Yet the situation is not entirely negative from the Kuki viewpoint. There is acknowledgement of the positive intention behind anti-poppy drives. Community elders and church leaders have expressed relief that at least someone is taking action to stop illegal cultivation. For years, Kuki churches, youth bodies and village councils have been preaching against poppy. Although many listened, others continued. The use of persuasion alone has not eliminated the practice. Seeing an armed group take strong action is therefore, in a very limited sense, welcomed by sections of the Kuki population. This creates a unique paradox. Kuki armed groups do not oppose the destruction of poppy farms, but they are wary of the one who is destroying them. They support the goal but question the actor. Their caution is not rooted in disagreement with anti-drug missions, but in the fear that the mission may be used to legitimize future involvement in their territories. This distinction is critical to understanding the Kuki perspective. Another factor shaping Kuki caution is the question of neutrality. Kuki armed groups are watching carefully to see whether ZUF targets poppy farms evenly across tribal lines. If ZUF's actions appear to focus primarily on Kuki villages while leaving others untouched, this will be interpreted as aggression rather than social service. The Kuki side is waiting to see whether ZUF will also act in areas where other tribes, including their own, are involved in cultivation. Only then can ZUF's intentions be judged fairly. Neutrality is therefore the key requirement the Kukis expect from ZUF's campaign. The Kukis also understand the economic factors driving poppy cultivation. Many cultivators are not criminals in the classic sense, but families driven by poverty, lack of opportunity, and absence of government support. They worry that sudden destruction without proper rehabilitation will leave families starving or indebted. Kuki armed groups know that their own people will turn to them for blame if economic collapse hits these communities. For this reason, they view ZUF's intervention with additional caution. The social and economic consequences must be measured, not just the moral intention. Additionally, Kuki leaders are concerned about the long-term security repercussions. Once an armed group enters a territory under the banner of social service, it gains a certain legitimacy. People begin to see it as a force capable of governance. This can weaken the village authority system, the Kuki customary administration, and even the state's presence in the district. Kuki armed organizations are therefore wary that ZUF's campaign may unintentionally shift the power balance in the region. Maintaining autonomy and preventing external intrusion have always been core principles of Kuki political strategy. Despite all these concerns, the Kuki response remains measured. There is no direct confrontation or hostility. Instead, there is controlled observation. Kuki armed groups are carefully monitoring ZUF's movements, statements, and actions. They are analyzing whether ZUF will maintain neutrality, whether it will coordinate with local bodies, and whether it will continue to operate in areas that fall under Kuki influence. They are also watching whether ZUF's campaign is a one-time event or part of a longer strategy. This cautious approach is strategic. The Kukis understand that reacting impulsively can escalate tensions and create unnecessary conflict. Therefore, they prefer to analyze quietly rather than respond loudly. They are prepared for multiple outcomes. If ZUF remains neutral and cooperative, the Kukis may quietly welcome the anti-poppy movement. But if ZUF's operations begin to resemble territorial assertion, the Kuki response will shift accordingly. The future direction of intertribal relations will depend heavily on what ZUF does next. What is certain is that the anti-poppy campaign has become a test of intertribal trust. It has exposed the fragility of relations between neighbouring communities in the hills. It has shown how even a socially beneficial act can become politically sensitive in a region where tribes live with constant awareness of land, identity, and authority. It has also revealed the vacuum left by the government, whose failure to tackle poppy cultivation has allowed underground groups to step in and shape the narrative. In the end, the Kuki-armed groups' caution is not a sign of opposition, but a sign of responsibility. They are responsible for the safety, autonomy, and dignity of their people. They are responsible for preventing conflict. They are responsible for ensuring that outside forces do not misuse noble causes for political gain. Their caution is therefore rooted in wisdom, not hostility. The unfolding drama between ZUF's campaign and the Kuki response will continue to shape the future of Kangpokpi district. It will influence intertribal relations, political strategies, and social reform. Whether it leads to cooperation or confrontation depends on how ZUF presents itself in the coming weeks. The hills are watching silently, each group analysing each action with care, aware that even a single misstep can alter the fragile balance of peace. Thank you for watching. Please do share this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe Zeliangrong Media.
ठीक पर जुलाव दे